Sweet 66 reception in Amarillo, ladies and gentlemen, Michael Wallis.
Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Good to be with you. Greetings once again. Another festival. I think we have to start off with a big, hearty, Texas-style salute and gracious thanks to everybody in this town, from the good new mayor and his lovely wife to all the people, David Rushing and Crocodile Lyle and this whole crew that put this together. It's been a tremendous event. Let's give them a hand. Thank you, David. It's really been great. Now, I am indeed an ink-stained wretch. I started out as a newspaper reporter and, of course, went on to work for Time Life. Did a lot of investigative work, a lot of snooping around, a lot of hard news, a little bit of feature writing to boot. So I've always got that reporter hat on, that invisible reporter's hat. So I did a little reporting tonight, and I want to give you some fresh news, or beat the wire services for you here, because it has to do with our road, and one of our own who's about to welcome someone into the world, a new road warrior. And I'm talking about our friend way out at the end of the road in the salty Pacific, young Dan Rice on the Santa Monica Pier. Dan and his lovely wife, Jessica, are moments away from welcoming into the world right now, tonight, a new baby son. She's having contractions now about every 8 minutes. You see, when you're the biographer of a road, you seem to get a lot of information. Sometimes I know if somebody's getting a divorce before one of the parties. When Pop Hicks Cafe burned down in Clinton, the Liars Club was still running out the door, and I was on the phone. I beat the volunteer fire department. You know, it was great. But this boy is about to be born, and he's a bit late. He was due June the 7th, so he's a little late. But as I rationalized with this proud father tonight from right up here on the phone, I reminded him that he's going to be a new road warrior. And those of us who like the road know it's sometimes good to slow down and take your time. You don't have to be like a Lightning McQueen. You can, and I think that's maybe what this young boy is doing, who I suggested they name either Cyrus Avery or Michael, which has a certain ring. But our congratulations, our early congratulations to Dan and Jessica out on the pier. Now, as someone who's been around the road now for 65 years, a good part of this old road's life, I think, and I think all of you agree, that we do have a tremendous amount to be thankful for, such as the news of the birth of this baby. Our beloved Mother Road is looking good, looking very good indeed. And although we have lost some folks, as we are wont to do along the way, that's a part of the life cycle, we have many more new folks that we have found that have come to the road and come along. Although some of our treasured places have closed or disappeared or are on the verge of disappearing, others, of course, have opened. And some have simply changed hands, oftentimes for the better. One case in point is we now have new owners at my Blue Swallow Motel in Tucumcari, and that is great news. And hopefully they'll understand that it's really not right to charge somebody to take a picture of those iconic swallows. As I said at the summit meeting the other day, anybody that does that is committing a felony on the Mother Road. And felonies on the Mother Road cannot be tolerated. So that's all good news. It's wonderful news. And there's also news, of course, that's not so wonderful. And thankfully, this lovely lady was acknowledged tonight in the prayers. And of course, I'm talking about my own Annabelle Russell. Annabelle and Harley, the mediocre music makers. Now, on the way out here, Suzanne and myself and Rick Freeland, one of the best hands to come along the road in a long time, and a co-founder with me of the new Route 66 Alliance, we stopped in Oklahoma City to see Harley and Annabelle. And I want to thank all of you who put some money in that plastic beer pitcher that was sitting on the Alliance table for the last 2 days, because they need every dime they can get. And I really appreciate all of you who contributed. And we're going to supplement, the Alliance is going to supplement that contribution. Harley and Annabelle are amazingly strong. This is a woman who has serious ovarian cancer. And when we walked into that little house in Oklahoma City where Harley's parents live, and they are a hoot, as you would well imagine, his 90-year-old father, who has one of the best Western history libraries I've seen, it is a great Class A library, and his mother, who does robotics and everything, 88 years old, and just made a strawberry pie and a pineapple pie, and after we had slices of that, she wanted to know if we wanted bread pudding, and I said, no, it's okay. So this woman, this angel of the road, Annabelle, is getting so much TLC. And when we walked in that room, I expected to see someone in maybe a hospital bed or down and not out, but down pretty far, and she wasn't. It was great to see. She had her turban on. She was thin as a pencil, but her eyes were shining, her eyes were bright, and she had that good, positive mind. And that is some great medicine for helping this woman. And I'm here to tell you, her numbers are turning around. And so all we can do, you know, no matter what you think, you know, this is an extended family. And as you always know, I always say, sometimes we're dysfunctional. And sometimes we have our problems. But by God, we're still a family, and we get through it, and we stick together. Semper Fi, Semper Fi. Anyway, they were overwhelmed by all the news that we've been giving them from this venue here. And that in itself is good medicine for all of them. I need to tell you real quick, those of you who don't know, I have a few people in this room who I call my discoveries, people that I found on the road. Sometimes I turned over a rock and there they emerged. And this road has some really interesting people on it, as you know, because some of you are looking me right in the eyes right now. It's not a boring road, is it? It's pretty lively. I was out on the one of the research trips for the first Cars movie. And we were out in those big old Detroit sleds, those Cadillacs, and I had all the boys and girls in Eric. And we came there today because John Laster and I thought everybody should see the riding lawnmower championship races, which all you are envious that you didn't see. But by God, we did. So we were there with a bunch of boys about the size of big old bull bisons, and they all had enough snuff to choke a whale, and we're riding lawnmowers over the berms, and we're having a high old time. And I saw everything was under control, so I told one of these roadies, I said, why don't you run me down the road here a bit? I'm going to get down Ship Willie Boulevard a little bit, Ship Willie and Roger Miller, that's the crossroads. So we went down, and I went down to that old city meat market, and there she was. And I thought, well, it looks a bit different. And I saw that big old bread sign on the screen door, and that screen door and it was open, the door behind it. And it was dark because the inside of a wolf's mouth in there. But I got out and I said, maybe somebody's in there. So I got out. I'd not been in that store long time. I can remember when it was a store. So I opened that big old screen door, and those of you who've been in there know what that place looks like. And it's pretty lively, and I'm scanning my eyes, and there in the back, I see this red-haired man in a red beard, ZZ top, and he's sitting there in his overalls, and he's got a bottle of something brown in a bottle and a cup, and those eyes are just dancing. And he said, "Michael Wallis, I've been waiting all my life for you to walk through that door." And I turned around and I told that kid in the car, I said, "Go get Lassiter and the crew." We were there for 3 hours. And it was a memorable 3 hours being there with an authentic person on the road. And they've added so much to our road, just like you all have. And what a great way to come into the Panhandle when you slip out of the wonderful state of Oklahoma and continue that westward journey. And you get on by and you hit Shamrock, what a great town that is, and that little litany of towns, and come right here to the capital of the Panhandle, and on west to the high desert, all the way to the Pacific, with those memories of Harley and Annabelle dancing in your head. Those songs, that warbler. You know, when he told us about Annabelle, he said, "I wish she were here to meet you." She was working down, she was clerking at a motel. He said, "She is an amazing woman. She is a sexual maniac." And I thought, my God. So I pictured this like Amazon tiger. And then we went down to the motel, and of course I see this wispy, kind of 60s damsel. I never could figure that one out, but there's a lot I can't